In this video, we're going to make our project box. This is it right here. You notice we have our keypad, LEDs, on-off switch. We're actually going to do this one just a little bit different. This is a prototype. What we're going to do is we're going to move the LEDs over here, move the on-off switch over here. But the bottom part is basically the same. You'll see I have the power input here, and I have the hookup for the cable that goes to the oven right here. So let me show you how to make it. This is what we're going to use for our project box. It's a Radio Shack 8" by 6" by 3" box. Just tear it off. We don't need this aluminum thing here that comes with it. You can throw that away. Here's our lid and the body of the box. Inside are 4 screws. You want to save those for later. Don't lose those. First thing we're going to do is we're going to work on this bottom part. Here's the body of our box, and what we're going to install is we're going to install this male header, and we're going to install, this is my power supply cord, and I made sure that the adapter, this plug that I got with it, fits perfectly. So what you want to do is go ahead and take this nut off. There we go. Take this off, and whatever the diameter of that thing is on your project box, you want to put a hole about right here. Just go ahead and do that now. Okay, what I've done here is I've outlined the hole I want to drill. It's 19 millimeters by 17 millimeters, so it's 19 millimeters tall, 17 millimeters wide. I purposefully made the hole a little bit smaller this time. What I'm going to do is use a technique called sneaking up on it, where you go ahead and you drill out the hole, and I'm going to use a small drill bit to outline it the same way I did for the reflow oven. And then what's really nice about this project box is it's fairly soft plastic. You can carve it with an X-Acto knife, and that's what I'm going to do to carve out the rest of the size of this hole. Here you can see I just used an 1/8 inch drill bit, and I just drilled it out. You'll see there's little, I guess you call them little chads in there holding little holes together. A couple ways you can get those out. One is you can use a pair of wire nippers. You'll see mine actually are small enough to actually fit down in there, and just cut them off. What I'm actually going to do is use an X-Acto knife and just cut it out. Okay, here's the little piece that I cut out. You can see it. And what I did was I took an X-Acto knife and I cleaned up around the edges. There you can see the hole. I cleaned up around the edges, and what happens now is this doesn't fit in there correctly. Here's what goes in. It doesn't fit in there at all. And that's where the sneaking up to it part comes up. What I'm going to do is just start carving a little bit more off of these pieces here until I can get this thing to fit in there like it's supposed to be. Alright, here this is installed. This is something I want to point out to you. You know, on the reflow oven, when we were putting this receptacle in the reflow oven, I pointed out this squared in here, squared in here, and it's the end is filled in here and the end is filled in here. Well, on the reflow oven, we put the filled in parts up top. Let me get it in close. Maybe you can see it. So we have the squared ends on the bottom, the filled in portions on the top, exactly like the reflow oven. Make sure you do that. You do not want to short out your board. Now what we're going to do is we're going to work on the lid. It just so happens I measured my LCD, and the screen here is 97 millimeters by 39 millimeters. So what I did was I taped this out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my drill and do the same thing I did with the 6-pin connector on the box. Just going to drill a bunch of holes like this, take my X-Acto knife, cut it out, and then I'm going to slowly try to put this in and then cut away the excess so it'll fit in there. Alright, as you can see, I got the piece cut out. Now what I got to do is I got to finish trimming this hole out the same way I did the 6-pin socket for the cable. And then I'm going to come over here, drill a couple holes for the for the LEDs here, drill a couple holes for the cable for the keypad, and then drill a hole right here for the on-off switch. And then I'll be done with this lid. Okay, I've got the LCD mounted into the top plate. I went ahead and pushed it in a hole. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a drill bit for these holes right here and then drill them out. That's for the bolts that hold the LCD in place on the lid of the spruce module. Alright, I got my 4 holes drilled for my LCD. Next I'm going to put the 2 LEDs in. If you get the Radio Shack ones that I recommend in the project document, you need a 9/32 inch hole right here. What I've done is I've went ahead and put a 2-pin connector to connect to the spruce board, and I'm going to do that now. Okay, now we're almost done. I've drawn a little line right here, and you want to draw it about 12 millimeters from the bottom of this. We actually have to drill a little hole out for this. I'm going to use an 1/8 of an inch wide bit. Easiest way to check that is to take your drill bit and put it up against this. Make sure it's oversized. Mine is. And it looks like we're going to make it about 25-30 millimeters long. Alright, so the little hole for the keypad is drilled. And how this works is if you buy this keypad that we recommend on eBay, you just take it, slide this down into the hole, pull it flat. On the back of this keypad, there's a piece right here. It's actually a sticker, and you just peel this off, and then it sticks on your spruce board or your spruce module, just like that. Now it's time for me to mount all the hardware, and I'll show you what that looks like when I'm done. Here's the entire spruce project box. I got my 2 LEDs, got my plug-in from the oven, got my LCD keypad held on by adhesive backing, and here's my on and off switch. In the next video, we're going to wire it all up and test it, make sure it's working correctly. One last thing, we need to make 3 cables. Video 8A will show you how to make this green cable right here. And then you can use those same techniques to make these 2 little cables. These cables are 5 inches long from here to here. And these go from the LCD to the circuit board to control the LCD. And you can use the same techniques you see in video 8A to make these.